time too. Like, imagine a Primal Beast going 13-3, you know, or 13 and whatever it was.
13, 3, and 20 felt like what it was. I must have been a bit less than that, but that's what it felt like. Ice, proving to be the impact player that we all remember him from all this time on Wings. Very explosive, always was making unimaginably aggressive plays happen. That was the hallmark of the Wings gaming lineup, and he's bringing it here. Not to mention, I mean, we're seeing this player in game, right? But Blink, one of the other members, the mid lane, actually no, this was the mid laner of Wings at the time, is their coach. So bringing some of those old ideas here, the aggression, you can definitely feel it from this lineup. And the Moeta position 1, the hero last pick is going to cause a lot of problems for this Magnus. He's not going to be able to get away with this, with just wanting to AFK and power farm it up.
And I did want to bring this up as well. Magnus doesn't have an easy in. You're playing into Torrent Storm, Calling, Ice Path, and Macropyre. If there's any point in which Magnus blinks into an Ice Path or blinks into a Calling, just catches a stray, that's your team fight done. That is 99% of your team fight over. They're really hoping Yang hits some clutch RPs and some clutch team fights here.
The bait play was set. They're on to Beyond. Would love to kill this Kunkka off the start. Game 2 off. In a good way. Last touch. Ooh, tower armor. Gets it done. Pump fake in the TP too. They wanted to scare Beyond a little. I'm sure his butt was clenched. But they start things off with a nice high ground ward. Once again spotting out this triangle. Now, in a complete contrast to our previous series and those two teams playing, I want to keep in mind that out of all the CN close qualifier teams, Team 0 is actually second in terms of amount of chem stacks a game at 11.5, right behind Ignite. So you can expect them to try and pump these up, and maybe that's something that Team Trust have analyzed and identified for themselves as well. Could be something to keep an eye out for, these engagements in the triangle in the early stage. But for now, starting things off in the laning stage, like we mentioned, this Primal Beast Kunkka. I mean, we're already seeing the effects. These mirror image illusions do not stand a chance, but Ice is actually dropping low. Ooh, the last touch on the the cold feet, sorry. Couldn't finish him off, and like you said, bottom, to get the first blood onto Nature's Prophet, just chase her down. And that's on the back of that Jakiro and his superior laning prowess.
And that's the kind of the problem with getting teleport level 1. Saw a bit of it while we cast other tournaments, and I questioned it then, and I get it now, but I still question it a little bit, just because I think Sprout in lane is pretty darn strong, right? It allows you, if you're making that play with Sprout, even if it buys you a couple seconds for them to cut down the trees, a couple seconds might be all that you need, you know, to get away.
I think Jakiro also presents an interesting situation where it's one of the only heroes in the game that it feels like Nature's Prophet is going to trade poorly against. And that's really just because of the dual breath attack slow, right? Once you get the Liquid Fire, it gets even harder. And suddenly, when you remove the Nature's Prophet's ability to dominate a lane, if you ever go on your little mid lane gank excursions, you leave Yang all alone, they're going to be able to set up this kill as well.
There's that Liquid Fire being leveled up by ZZQ. So instantly, yeah, things, like you said, getting harder in this bottom lane. Now with the Calling as well. The amount of slows, very, very high. Like Calling, 30%. Dual Breath, 28%. Adds up. It does. Literally adds up.
Yeah. That's how the mechanic works. Yang does have a salve in the back pocket. So does have that one-time reset if he's not taken down 100 to 0. That's going to be important for him to make use of. He needs to try and extend his time in this lane as much as possible. Trying to get a set on the CTY. It's a lot of physical damage coming through from this Magnus.
Magnus does hurt, but look how low this Prophet is. CTY, just a quick dead shot, brings him down.
Just like a bit of lack of respect from that Prophet there. I mean, they didn't use any spells that entire time, just auto-attacking him down. It's a freebie, basically, for the Team 0 safe laner right there. I'll happily pick that up. Top side, charge through, Ice under the tower, rooted up, Not where you want to be, Vine Seed. Gets revenge for last game. Beyond is going to look for an angle at the Tidebringer, but Chushen is not going to give it to him. Meanwhile, bot side, CTY goes down to Yang. So Team Trust firing back in this early stage of the game right now. 2 kills on the board. to get themselves even Stevens.
They're already, you know, things are already looking better than they were last game. Team Trust should be able to kind of mentally reset and be like, okay, we're having a good start to this first game, or second game rather. Maybe we can turn things around.
I don't know if the
turn
we
around.
includes the Nature's Prophet, but yeah, it seems to be not part of that fortunate party that's enjoying themselves here. Already 2 deaths here on the spot side. This is literally the Nature's Prophet extermination lane, right? The Moeta and the Jakiro, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And even mid, Blessing is having a fine time, but 7E is able to just put on so much pressure on the Pugna. Tower pressure and hero pressure. There's nothing that Necro can really do to keep himself safe other than dodging the blasts.
Bot side, they get a kill onto Yang, and this is what we talked about. The second the Prophet leaves, it's going to be so easy for them to get that done. Tried to make a beeline for the water rune, but couldn't make it there in time. And, well, this Pugna mid is just bullying the Necro. I think they forgot this could be a possibility, but topside, setting up onto Beyond. Here comes the Nature's Prophet, trying to mirror the movement. Beyond is going to go down. This topside seems to be the only bastion of hope right now, but ZZQ TPing in, trying to turn around onto Vinesea with the attack slows Ice Ice. Ooh, narrowly surviving, and Vinesea is going to be the one to go down. The Sprout's going to go wide, but the auto attack will land. They end up getting 2 for 1 here. Losing the Naga's got a sting though.
It does, and I'm going to give you a reason, Sneeze, why it feels a little bit worse. Naga Siren has 11 CS.
Oh. Oh no.
Yikes, dude. Yeah, and you know what? Like, because we haven't really been watching top lane. I don't even know what it is. But Vinesea is now in the jungle at a point now where he doesn't feel too safe farming the wave while it's that far up.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of geared himself up well for this situation, right? It's almost like he knew this was going to happen, and he picked the best hero for it. When the Primal Beast position 4 has more CS than you know things are maybe starting to go down a similar trajectory. Mid lane, we missed a kill, unfortunately, but this is what you mentioned. The Primal Beast rotations coming in, and maybe we're getting a bit of a glimpse as to why they've opted for this swap, right? You're up against a Nature's Prophet on the other side who can make so much happen on the map. You get a Primal Beast on support who does essentially all the same things. Immense amounts of damage, a good bulk of control of the onslaught, and just global, almost roaming potential.
I think the key thing there is the damage that Primal Beast does. It being magic damage, Necrophos, Ghost Shroud, so what?
CZQ getting set up on, but Yang, he's just gonna get trampled down by Ice Ice. No chance there. Try and fortify to turn it around on him. The last auto attack will finish off the Jakiro. The Prophet is just gonna get gunned down by CTY again. This Moeta, level 6 Falcon Blade, and feeling very, very happy at 5-1.
Nice Scythe mid.
I'm just missing these kills left and right. I mean, Team Trust, for what it's worth, they are punching back in these instances. Even though they are being bested in these small skirmishes, they're finding little openings. Get Blessing his first Scythe stack of the game. Up until this point, it wasn't looking too good for the Necro, right? He seemed like he was kind of tanking major hits from the Pugna. Uh-oh. Here comes AA. Looking to try and contest, but the Ice Path, early level, still not going to stop the Prophet from TPing in, and it's a battle of the supports, but Ice Ice, he didn't come adequately equipped. He's running a bit out of HP, he's trying to turn around for the charge. We're going to go down to the last auto attack. Here comes 7E though. Makes quick work of the Prophet. AA able to TP out, but denying that EXP, that is pretty huge for Team Trust.
You know what? I would almost like to agree with you. I don't know if I necessarily agree. Obviously, the Primal Beast 6 is very important, but he's already like 5.5, like 5.25, I guess. And Jakiro is more than willing to just run around with 2 points in the dual breath and a point into stun. So level 6 is, you know, are very important as they placed a double ward bottom, a little bit of miscommunication. But yeah, yeah, it's important for sure. It doesn't feel good getting your bounty rune stolen no matter what, but it's not the end of the world. It's a little victory for Team Trust, though.
I mean, I get what you're saying with the level 6, but I mean, it's just EXP in general, right? Who doesn't want
exactly.
Who doesn't want, you know, screw the level 6. I want more levels of my support so they hit harder. You know, I don't need an ultimate. I'm just greedy. What about it?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I mean, he's gonna try and get his level 6 now. I'm sure the Pulverize would allow him to try and get a setup onto Yang. But he doesn't know that the rest of Team Trust are setting up in this area right now.
Dire's top tower.
Come the cavalry. They do have to be careful. RP is online, and there's 3 heroes from Team Trust in the area as well.
Sniff out that ward, ZZQ. Sprouted up to start, but is this really the target they want to go on? I mean, I don't really see any other options. It'll be Chu Sheng for now. This AA gets spared in favor of the Prophet. Have to select one target, and it's unfortunately gonna be that position 4. He goes down again. Really feels like Team Zero, their draft, they've answered this Prophet perfectly this game. 2 and 6. Not really able to get as much done.
And I think they've answered the Necrophos as well, and a lot of the heroes on the side of Team Trust have been answered. Necrophos, you don't necessarily need a Spirit Vessel this game. Obviously, it would be very nice. But there aren't necessarily a hero that wants to build it, so you just overwhelm him with magic damage, speaking of being overwhelmed.
Level 6, there's the setup, pulverize and the kill. No chance of survival there from the Naga Siren. They didn't have a song to sing away out of that one. Now Beyond is suffering from the Ice Blast damage. The Scythe, it's not going to be enough though because of the Rum buff, but he'll still take down. That last little Ice Vortex finishes the job. The rest of the squad can't really help him out there.
Oh, blessing.
Oh, like you said, that's kind of the downfall of the Necro. No way of you getting out of that one. 70 just blasts him down. And now with the body blast, Ice. Pulverize as well. There's going to be an Ice Pop setup on top of that. They just make it look easy. Chaining kill after kill. That's 2 calls down. 7E, he is completely uncontested here. Aether Lens complete already, looking at the Boots of Travel. I mean, the Necro has his, but he's just going to run straight into 70 every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, you may have the global presence with the Nature's Prophet and the BOTs, but yeah, Pugna building one of his own means that he can just mirror these rotations from both the Prophet and the Necrophos.
Well, kill off Ice here, getting a bit too far forward, not respecting the Naga damage. Speaking of the Naga, has the Yasha flying out to her right now, so still not as bad as she was last game where she was firmly at the bottom. That spot is occupied by the Magnus now, who really just has not had a very good game. But for what it's worth, this game looking a lot more even in this early stage. Sure, it's a 5k gold lead. Sure, Team Zero are running around the map making things happen. But I kind of feel like Team Trust have more tools at their disposal to turn things around this time.
I sure hope so, because Yang not being off to a good start worries me a little bit, especially because Yang is going to be going for the Echo Saber instead of the Blink Dagger, or at least if the order of the queued items are to be believed, which is all that we can base it off of, really. Yeah, I would potentially like to see Yang go for that Blink Dagger, but Team Trust might feel like they're in a position where they just kind of want to let Naga farm a little bit. Necrophos, he's gone for these BOTs, so not necessarily going to be super aggressive. Obviously can farm and then be there. You got to put heroes on the map before you can just kind of be there. And Nature's Prophet isn't necessarily the best initiation.
Especially at the start he is nothing more than the one being initiated on, it feels like, this game. Shows his face in the bot lane, immediately gets it slammed to the curb. Beyond and ZZQ don't give him a chance to get things done. Topside, Ice setting up onto the Naga Siren deep within the triangle. And honestly, with 70 standing around here, what are you gonna do? This is just another kill. You don't have mana for the Ice Blast. Even if you did, it wouldn't make a difference. And Ice has a trample in another 2 seconds. Yeah, he's just melting down the AA. It once again, maybe a bit of disconnect between some of the players here. They last picked this Magnus in the same vein as Irving did in that earlier game against Go Along. A lot of work to do for him to set up some of these kills, but he hasn't even made it to his first item. And nobody else on the side of Team Trust are going to be able to set these things up for you. You have a Necro, you have a Naga, they're static. And who's going to make the play? Who's going to make the play for the Boots of Travel?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Naga, a song initiate, I guess.
Right,
you know,
right,
Copium.
right.
You know,
Song
right,
initiate
obviously.
into hoping that they're all standing in one area for you to RP and Ice Blast. That's literally, literally the golden hope.
That's it. That's
and
it,
even
right?
then,
That's the
I don't
stars
know if
align.
you have enough damage.
Oh yeah.
Ice. Just slide his way out of this one with the nice skewer, but ooh, just grabs him over the cliff. Ice reaches out, finds the Magnus, has an RP available, and they'll scythe him down. Ice actually goes down. Rest of the team can't catch up just yet, and this is a good song. RP still available. Yang will get out of here, but the Naga goes a bit too far off the curve there. Kind of sells out his own Magnus, and Magnus just dies in such an unceremonious way. For the first time, it looked like it would be a good fight for Team Trust, but they still lose the Magnus, and he continues to stay behind.
It looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication, or not miscommunication, but questioning when it comes to the items of Yang. Does buy the quarterstaff really quickly, immediately sells it, bought it again, sold it again. So it might just be one of those scenarios where they're talking about the item. You know, Yang's like, oh, you know, Echo Saber would be nice to farm. They're like, no, we need you to fight. Like, we need you to start making space right now.
And then, you know, it's that typical pub player mentality. Maybe you're in a stack or whatnot. You hear your team say, yo, can you get your bling? Like, where's your bling, bro? And you're just like, oh, you buy the quarterstaff quietly and you hope they don't notice. But you're like, I can't do my team like that. We're in the ESL CN qualifiers. I mean, quarterstaff or not, it's not going to matter. Beyond still able to find his off-lane counterpart here. Skill away will get him to safety, but yeah, he's just playing. He just has to play so scared.
And they are able to kind of no committal take these towers on Team Zero if they so choose, but they're looking to kill off heroes instead. Necrophos bottom will be a great target.
Ice will start trampling. Can't stop the TP out though. And he'll get out of there. Pulverize already used for this Primal Beast. ZZQ actually gonna get caught out by the Nature's Prophet. Starting a TP out. Here comes Ice Blast. Should finish him off there. He goes down. So starting to ramp up some action here. Trust. They're splitting the map. The Nagas deep within enemy lines. They're able to TP out. Oh, Fancy. No, that's the Manta. Just waiting for that to fly out to him, but wasn't paying attention to where the positioning on these heroes were for Team Zero. Gets that killed off. That's 2 minutes without it. You mentioned it just now. The Naga Siren with the Manta. That farming speed is going to be amped, but it's going to be put on hold for now.
And we're in a kind of position for Team Trust, and we're just kind of scratching our head, asking us what they can do. They do finish the Blink Dagger on the side of Yang. RP is up as well, but you're losing your Naga Siren in the jungle.
Yeah, Ice strolls past her. That's a freebie right there as Beyond. Connects right with them. And you just look at the way the map is split right now. Sure, Naga was farming the Radiant jungle early on, but really, the lines of pressure are drawn, right? You can't really proceed anywhere past your tier 2. That's the perimeter that Team Zero have set right now. And even though this game has looked a little bit different, it's still very much following the same story. One of the cause on the side of Team Trust not really being able to find their footing. They will blink over, find ZZQ though. That's the blink reveal on Yang. That's what he sold the quarterstaff for. Here comes the Pulverize, straight up, set up, 7E. Makes quick work of that Magnus, punishes him. But there's the side back the other way. Blessing gets the kill. Ice. Not quite as slippery as he was on that Weaver. Couple of deaths his way.
It's a great start for Team Trust, but you know, Yang getting caught there kind of puts an end to any sort of aggression they could so choose, as Team Zero the one that ramp up right now.
I mean, you say put an end to the aggression, it seems like they still want to heat things up. Blessing gonna body mark Beyond here, but a neutral creep deny. AA manages to find it and deny that EXP and gold, going the way of Team Zero. Still feels like the pressure's on though. They can continue blasting this tower, make use of the Muerta's range. And once again, where is the initiation? It has to be Yang with his Blink Dagger and RP, but he's not even in the area.
No, Yang's farming bottom. He just skewered, blinked, everything to get to the bottom lane. Really wanted to empower the Naga Siren.
We didn't talk about this just yet, but both, I mean, the Jakiro as well as the Pugna can apply a lot of tower pressure on these objectives. Bot side, they're looking for the kill onto ZZQ again. X marks RP, committed. Yang actually throws it out, but with the decrep, ZZQ will be fine. They can't even finish off the Jakiro. He'll die to the Ice Vortex, but Naga in some trouble. Beyond gonna be held in place by the net, but here comes Primal Beast looking for his target. Pulverize up, and 70's there to drain him down. Song not even able to be popped there. And the rest of the supports will very quickly follow as Beyond X marks the AA back into the fray. Into the hands of Zero. Just flatten out their opposition right now. 7k gold lead.
That wasn't the RP. that wasn't the RP we were looking for. They obviously, like, if they got the like, even if they got the kill, it was not the RP you were looking for.
They did in the end. Just, you know, it was kind of ugly. And beyond Scythe, though, good kill. Kanka overstays is welcome.
You want to make.
I mean, more like, you know, the positionings you want to punish. I have no idea what I was doing back there with 500 HP. Beyond, giving them a bit of a freebie there, and one stack going the way of the Necro, up to 4 now. And this is something we already saw Phoenix flex on. A Blessing, he does have a lot of magic damage to deal with on the opposing side, but no Spirit Vessel builders, and no real percentage HP damage, right? And that could be something that becomes a problem later on.
Especially with the defensive item in the way of the Yules. It can help you against the Kunkka. It can potentially break the Pugna, stop the Muerta, right? It is set up for Jakiro, so that, you know, you start thinking about it, gets a little sketchy. But overall, it's a really good pickup from Blessing, and we'll see if it can come to fruition here.
Once again, it feels like Team Trust, similarly to, unfortunately, Team Bright, have put a lot of chips in the Magnus basket, and the Magnus basket is about to be invaded right now. Trampled on, pulverized up. The Ice Path is gonna be laid in the spot, and Yang is just gonna burn out to ZZQ's Macropire. From start to finish, this Jakiro has just been such a thorn in his side.
ZZQ has been playing great on the Jakiro. You know, it's a little rare to point out Jakiro and be like, oh, you're playing so good. But it's true. ZZQ has had Ice Pass exactly where they needed to be. A little sketchy on the Macropire once, but turned into a good fight anyways. Oh, Prophet.
Very, very cute play there. Glimmer caping Ice Ice forward to avoid detection, and they catch the Nature's Prophet yet again. It really is these two supports that feel like they're the primary playmakers for Team Zero. ZZQ on that Prophet in game number 1. I have Ice Ice following up the damage, and this time, roles reversed. Ice Ice leading the charge and getting these disables, allowing ZZQ to come through with the additional follow-up Ice Path. I mean, this combo, this is the type of synergy you build for a very significant long amount of time.
They got eyes on Naga Siren. They're making the moves right now. Naga has to get out of this area. Has Song, but like you said at the beginning, this Kunkka with X, with Torrent, has these long-range disables and a Torrent Storm to boot. Now, Beyond is so tanky with that Blade Mill Axe. That's all that he really needs. And that's all the Team Zero really need to start taking these fights. They like the Blink Dagger on the Primal Beast, but with that Aghanim Scepter and now Octarine complete as well, they can start making pretty much any move that they want. These tier 2 towers can certainly start getting cleaned up.
Waiting a bit too long on the Magnus there, misses out his chance to skewer back the Primal Beast. Yeah, and gets interrupted by the Onslaught. That's a kill they could have gotten that gets burned away there. Wisdom Runes will be picked up by both respective sides. Vinci probably going to stroll over and grab that one. Let's take a look at the items real quick. So Ice Ice, I know you mentioned the Blink Dagger, but I'm really liking this Glimmer Cape Drums of Endurance. I think it's tanking him up in a situation where a Primal Beast support might just kind of fall off. Octarine Core completed for the Pugna as well. And man, we haven't even talked about the Muerta this game. Hurricane Pike Mjolnir already done for her. She's going to be ripping these Naga illusions and the main Naga to shreds.
Yeah, Muerta was one of the heroes that, you know, kind of popped up, and immediately you saw the Naga Siren start falling off when people started picking up Muerta more and more. And like PL's even like a non-hero right now, and I think Muerta, as well as other heroes, but Muerta's definitely got something to do with that. You have that Mjolnir, natural Mjolnir builder on top of the Gunslinger. It's just too much for these illusions to stand their ground. We got a nice deep smoke play from Team Trust, setting up a nice deep ward, but they're getting nothing out of it.
Yeah, nothing nice to be found despite all their previous nice gestures. You don't always receive what you give out here. Very, very sad. Lesson in life, everybody.
Yeah.
As scans come through, it seems like they know they're being converged upon. Yen sticks around to finish off that tower, but here comes Beyond with the Xbox at the setup. They spot out the AA as well. Might not be where they want, but a nice Aethos holds the Primal Beast in place for now. It doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for Yang to get out of here. He already used the skewer, and it was interrupted by the disables. He goes down. Found the AA as well with the Ice Path. He's gonna turn around with a blast. He should be going down. CTY takes down the Prophet on the sidelines in the jungle. Popping that Pierce the Veil actually just to get that done.
Yeah, it's like a 45-second cooldown, so
Yeah,
what?
who cares?
You know? Yeah.
So you're so
Prophet's
right.
dead for just as long, you know?
8k gold lead now, 27
Blessing.
minutes. Blessing, uh-oh, TP out. Makes it there in time, but here comes 7E. Already use your TP, where you gonna go? 7E doesn't seem like he wants to commit for it.
He's gonna find Naga instead. Nice little farm steal from 70, you know, the little things, right?
Yeah. Didn't even notice he had the shard completed, can instantly wipe out those illusions in one fell swoop with the drain on the nether ward. Very, very cool stuff. Naga, I mean, on all fronts of the draft, between the Nature's Prophet, between the Naga that was basically snap picked, and the Magnus last pick as well with the Chikiro, it just feels like Team Zero have crafted such a winning draft for themselves. They have every single tool that they need at their disposal to deal with the Team Trust heroes. Team Trust have not been able to find anything for the past 10 minutes. We were applauding them for some of their moves early on, but really it was just Team Zero being caught out, split apart, and they weren't at the tanky enough level where ZZQ is able to survive through the burst. Here comes the setup onto the AA again, and yeah, I mean, 2 games in a row now he's played the AA, and 2 games in a row now he has been the absolute butt of aggression. 5 deaths on this AA. He's done a lot of work in terms of trying to contribute to some of these fights and get these tanky heroes low, but there's not much else to be done here. You just are free food.
It's hard when you're position 5 and you want to start getting wards out. You want to start de-warding, but Team Zero are just so on top of their movements, and they're so on top of defending their aggressive wards or their defensive wards.
He's gonna get caught out here. If they can find the Reaper side from him, it's gonna be an excellent kill. Chop down to size. Wicked kill streak. That's a lot of gold going the way of Blessing.
That's Heart of Taras completed.
Yeah.
This Necro's starting to become a lot harder to deal with now, especially without that Spirit Vessel. Like I said, they may have all that magic damage, but...
Worth mentioning as well, Aghanim Scepter. You can just make use of that long range as long as they have vision, which is what the AA affords you, right? You can root up these targets and keep them in place specifically. Very useful against the Primal Beast to stop him in his tracks. Come to the top side. No Scythe, no RP. It still looks like they're looking for action. They're joining out of the squad here. It's gonna be a clash. ZZQ. He's on the front line. Meets them all in the front. Yang goes wide on the skewer. And here comes Ice Ice now into the Naga. Uh-oh. Torrent Storm rising up, and this Naga might just drown in her own water. The blast away, CTY, pierce the veil, shoots through the heart of that poor Naga Siren. Where you going, Lil Fishy? Blessing gonna be pulled back into the fray. The Yule's up to keep himself up and running, but Ice Ice charge through, Death Seeker, BKB pop from beyond just to resist some of that magic damage coming through, and they are holding Blessing in place. Hard or not, there's too much control. Finally gets the second ghost shot off, but that's where the death shot comes into play. X-Mask onto Yang as well, gonna pull him straight back into the fray, and Ice Ice, another beautiful charge, another beautiful setup from the supporting cast of Team Zero, and they flatline Team Trust. All 3 cores out of the picture, it's only the supports that survive.
And this is going to be Roshan for CTY. Only the first Roshan, but I feel like there's nothing stopping them from potentially going high ground, at least top. There's a good chance for them to just slow siege with Muerta Pugna.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about the damage that could come through, not just from the Muerta, but the Pugna and the Jakiro as well. All very good at taking these objectives down. You inch a bit too close, that's where Beyond can just pick you off. 50 gold to the tidal wave, we've seen the work that this spell can do. One of the primary reasons why Kunkka is such a strong pick now, the dispositioning, or repositioning rather, is so strong.
Speaking of so strong, CTY is one of the best neutral items you could ask for on a Muerta. Paladin Sword not quite available yet, instead has the Vampire Fangs. Obviously would be laughing if he gets the Paladin Sword here. We'll see what happens. CTY gets the tier 3 token.
Oh my god.
There it is. There it is, dude. It's over.
Yeah, it does certainly feel that way. The one caveat to that is they have the AA, right? So if you get tagged the Ice Blast, none of that healing is gonna matter. But so far, CTY 1-1-1-1. You couldn't think of a luckier score. very, very fortuitous.
Is under attack.
Well, there is an angle back for Team Trust, right? We talked about them having a lot better tools. Maybe not to take the team fight because a lot of it is on the Magnus, but the Prophet can split push, the Naga can split push. With your Boots of Travels on the Necro, if you're not caught out, you can try and like just push out these waves as well. I mean, of course, that's if you're not afraid of death here. Yon's gonna come through, Torrent Storm as well. The TP in the midst of it, but not in the face of the dead shot. CTY comes through, you think a pulse 5 Prophet not important enough for me to get. Here comes Ice though, Ice Blast on top of his head. The TP can't complete from the Necro, but they'll still finish off the Primal Beast.
That's all due to this nice deep ward being planted by Team Trust. Not only keeps this area safe for the Naga Siren, but allows any sort of aggressive or defensive play to be kind of built upon by Team Trust, and they can continue the aggression bottom, especially if Yang's going to continue to farm here with Vinci, you know, with that heart, with that Orchid. Is Vinci going Radiance? Interesting.
That is something. I don't know if it's good. I mean, okay, let's break it down for what it is, right? Mischance against the Moeta.
Yep,
Sure.
very good.
You don't really think so much about the MKB on that hero. You get it only if you have to. Puts her in a bit of a weird spot. But more than anything, the old school Naga always built Radiance because you could split push the waves out so much. Maybe that's kind of what she wants to do, because what the Radiance does is essentially it makes every single one of your mirror images good enough to clear a wave. Team Trust, they might be getting sneaky with it here. They might be pulling out some Miracle-esque plays.
They're not pulling off anything right now, as both Naga Siren and Nature's Prophet not wanting to teleport back to defend their tier 3.
Rock throw going
Senses
wide, top
Nature's
side. Ice
Prophet.
Ice looking for an angle. No trample available, finally gonna have it. Cuts through the tree line, finds the Nature's Prophet. And nowhere for this poor guy to run. Died, what? 11 times now?
Yikes.
And they're trying to get a response on the front lines, but Yang just gets drained down. They can't complete the initiation that they're looking for, and they didn't even have RP in that. Just kind of feels like he blinked forward straight into the hands of the waiting arms, rather, of Team Zero.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's 40 seconds without mag buyback. I mean, like I said, with this Aegis, they should be willing to potentially push high ground here.
I mean, we've been mentioning that already, but this is the main problem, right? With the Naga illusions, take a look at where she's placing them. She's cutting the waves. She's making sure that none of them meet the tower. They'll finally usher one in on the top side. And they're going to have to make the full use of this because a glyph is available. And it's going to clear the creep wave with the nature. Yeah, the Nature's Wrath comes through before they can respond. Ice Blast on top of the Moeta's head as well. CTY able to dodge out of that. The chop down. Ice goes down. It's a large bulk of their initiation and control taken out of the mix. And 1 minute left on the Aegis. They don't want to tempt fate. They're going to relent for now. And it's just more time being bought for this Naga Siren. I mean, it's a very late Radiance, but Vinci, he might just be... Oh my goodness. Look at this. What a cool play. I mean, he just built the Radiance. He knew he could disassemble it. Used it for this brief interval to cut the creep waves and make sure that they were being held back. And now with the Nullifier means that you might be able to actually cut through the Pugna or the Moeta. That is some big brain Naga Siren itemization right there.
I guess. I don't know. It just feels a little weird to.
Okay,
have
you don't sound convinced
no,
at all.
I mean, it's fine.
All right.
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like if you're. It's like you've got an Echo Saber, right?
Sure.
And you're like, okay, I'm gonna disassemble this for a BKB, and then within half a second, you've built the Echo Saber back up again. It's like, okay, like I get it, I get what you did, but also like you really didn't need to do that. You could probably have just built the Nullifier to begin with.
No, but as in that entire, you know, did you not see the whole creep cutting stuff? That didn't impress you enough?
No, because Naga Siren can do that anyways without the Radiance, right? We're at a point now where Tidal Wave, or Riptide even, isn't isn't one of those abilities they can use once every like 4 seconds, right? It's popping off every second with these illusions.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was just impressed because it basically, I guess the farm, the clear speed is way higher. That's my thought.
For sure.
No, okay.
Yeah,
it
does help to
Vinci,
push the waves in.
You heard it here first. You know, Crash. Vinci not living up to your expectations. That's rough.
I wouldn't say that. Vinci's been playing very well this game. You know, game number 1 was quite rough for the or for the Luna rather for Vinci.
Yeah, we don't talk about game number 1, Luna.
No.
We do not. No.
Well, they just expiring now. Like you said earlier on, this is buying time for Team Trust, buying time for the Naga Siren, buying time, more importantly, I think, for this Magnus, for Yang to get this BKB. And that's when things can really start happening with BKB against Kunkka, against Primal Beast, Jakiro. It is just one of those items that it's a lifesaver. It really is. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Necrophos potentially build one either. It feels really bad, but I wouldn't be surprised after the Aghanim Scepter to see something like a BKB or some sort of extra defensive item.
Nah, I think the build-up is Kaya Sanch, right? Because BKB is such a sunk cost situation.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see how things go here, but it really does feel that way. Team Trust, through these rat plays, through the split push, through just holding Team Zero off for now, they've been able to find little openings on the map for them to climb back up in terms of net worth. This Naga Siren, now very close to the Moeta in terms of net worth. Necrophos trailing slightly behind as well. Sure, the Magnus is falling a little bit behind, but all things considered, all he needs is the BKB, like you said. Up against the Jakiro, Primal Beast, Pugna, you can't, and of course the Torrent Storm at this point, you can't afford not to have it. You're just not going to have a fight.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no ins for Magnus, and like we kind of talked about at the very beginning, it's very hard for Magnus to play into Ice Path, into the Calling, into Torrent Storm.
I guess the reason why I'm not convinced yet is because even with the BKB, it goes back to the fundamental issue of Team Trust draft where it feels like that barrier of entry in terms of execution is so much higher. To even try and stand a good chance in these fights, you need to land a killer RP. The Ice Blast has to land on key targets like the Moeta or the Pugna. You know, most of these times you've been able to siphon down maybe 1 or 2 of the supports, maybe 1 core if you're lucky. But you need to put together an absolute masterclass of a team fight, or miracle if you will, to wipe this team. I think CTY can just stand and deliver right in the face of it all, and I don't think there's anything you can do about it. Even with the Lincolns now, we're going to be able to block against the Scythe coming out. If, you know, the Necro is too quick on the fingers, doesn't wait for it to be cancelled first, you'd have to commit the Death Seeker to just commit in and pop that yourself.
Sneeze, are you ready for round 2, dude? Are you ready for round 2 as to why I think Radiance was bad?
Okay, let's hear it. I mean...
Sold the Talisman of Evasion for a BKB.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, it's clear what that means. It just means that Team Trust, with the way they're gearing up right now, it almost feels like they think they don't have any other option. This is when they need to fight. Scaring the Nature's Prophet away, very cute play there. The X marks pulling Jakiro back to safety and forcing the Nature's Prophet to basically just panic out of there and stop his split push, right?
CTY is in the area, might connect on the Nature's Prophet. But yeah, like you said, oh, he is teleporting out. He is for sure teleporting out. There's no way
he's halfway gone already.
There's no way. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
They will come up to this top side, presumably to set up on this Roche that might just be respawning. See whether there's a bit of a longer one here. Give Team Trust a bit more time to connect back to this top side of the map. Time and time again, we see teams fall into the trap of this Roche pit. 2 minutes on the clock, like you mentioned. Already setting up the vision around this area though, so they'll be primed to take it if that's the case. Nature's Prophet came here a bit early and put this ward down though that hasn't been spotted, so... Team Trust, they should have an idea about the positioning of Team Zero. Like we said, this vision is going to be the first step to taking that Miracle Team fight. CTY hides out on the high ground, starting off on the ice here. The Primal Beast can't really do much about that. Ice Path comes out a bit too late, so does the Torrent. And Vinci still walking forward. CTY spots him, but they're onto the Naga Siren popping the BKB. There's the RP straight onto the Moeta. But where's the damage? There's a follow-up at the moment. The Ice Blast goes overhead. So the healing is out, but it seems like Team Trust, they're a bit disjointed right now. They use the Naga Siren song to kill off the Nether Ward. But what else can you find? Ice has bought back, and there he is on the back line, forced to be silenced out, skewered back into the back line, but I don't know if that's where he wants to be. ZZQ and the rest of the squad coming forward, pulling the Nature's Prophet into their grasp, and BKBs popped all around. It's going to be a dieback from the Primal Beast, but Yang, not long for this world. They're looking at Blessing as well. He's right under their ward vision. One Ice Path to rule them all, catches the Necrophos. Knew exactly where he was going with that one. He might try and run, he might try and use. Might even try a Scythe. Not gonna get that kill though. Beyond able to walk it off. They'll just slowly drain, break, stun. Set up for the kill on this Necrophos. CTY, the big winner of it all. And it goes back to the fundamental problem. CTY, if you're not sighting him and he pierces the veil, how are you going to do damage to him? Team Trust, they come out completely empty on that question.
Yeah, I mean, not completely empty when it comes down to the fight. They did get the Primal Beast twice, which is a little bit of gold going their way. It wasn't a total disaster. It was a disaster, but not a total disaster. I'm huffing on that copium for Team Trust right now, as these little things can start adding up. Fincy, though, if you feed away your life here.
See him in the area here. Ice Path set up, starting to get ripped apart by the illusions, but forced apart the BKB, and that's the song. No way of interrupting that. Kunkka tried for it, but was still in range. Put to sleep. I mean, that could have been the chances for Team Trust evaporating in an instant too. But Roshan is up, and they're just going to make a beeline for the pit. Without the song, without all these big teamfight ultimates, this will be a very easy second Roche. Aegis and Cheese for the side of Team Zero. Iceblast's going to come through and scout it out though. But they're in no position to contest.
Yang still looking for that BKB. Has it in like 10 gold. So high ground is going to be a good hold for Team Trust, right? They've got AA and Magnus. Heroes that are decent at holding high ground. Nothing too extravagant, mind you. But they do have decent heroes at holding high ground. Naga Siren, like you said, can push these waves, cut these waves, make things really hard and annoying for Team Zero to deal with.
Can't understate the power of this harpoon skewer situation, right? Pull you back into the tier 4s. Unless you're fast on the X marks, like we mentioned, I mean, this is starting to become a very recurring dynamic we're seeing in these CN qualifier games. But unless you're fast on the X marks, you don't really have any good save for Team Zero to maybe fish a Muerta out of there. Yang, he's gonna be looking. CTY presents himself there. There's the pull back, forcing the BKB for him to even get things done. They immediately scythe down. They cut down the first life. She's in a very, very bad position. Can she get out of here? Here's the rest of the squad. They use the RP now. And CTY in some trouble. Needs to get out of there, pop the BKB and pierce the veil. And suddenly the Magnus doesn't stand a chance. Neither does the Naga. They just melt like butter. And call an ambulance, but not for me. CTY sends him packing with the gunslinger. And the rest of the team was ready to follow up. Without your Magnus and Naga Siren, what else can you offer? They'll move straight on to the next lane of Rax. And why not make it a third? She's still intact for Beyond here. He can just pass it over. CTY is still scared for his life. But I don't see any reason why he would be. They'll make quick work of these buildings, realizing don't think there's any buybacks available. The Naga shot on gold, so is the Magnus, and they're gonna go straight in. 7E completely uncontested, just draining their lives in front of them. And Blessing, sure, it's not doing any damage, but it's sending a message. It'll kill off the Prophet. They'll set up for the kill again, and no chance. He'll use himself up. A last little parting gift for them. And there's nothing else you can find, but look at that. Uh-oh. No creeps. Bit of a team spirit at TI-10 situation here. They'll do the due diligence. 7E will usher the creep wave back in. The buyback from the Prophet was intended to try and answer that. And see him trying to rat in the bot side, but Beyond already here to answer him. Meet him right where he stands. The Muerta will come back and deal with him as well. It seems like actually that was good enough to stop them. Team Zero, they just retreat. I thought this was going to be a game over situation, but with the Muerta TP out, suddenly the push is no longer feasible. Ice tossing the rocks out will stop the Magnus in his tracks, but without the Kunkka or the Muerta, they should be backing off here. Even though it's 24k
gold, gonna start walking forward.
Yeah, I mean, they need to try and get something here before the rest of the side of Team Zero starts to come together again. It really just is the Prophet without the buyback, right? I mean, your Necro's coming back, and even then he has a buyback.
Oh, it'll feel bad though. Could you imagine buying back with 20 seconds left? Just doesn't feel good. 7E, holy moly.
Just blinks up, knows that he's uncontested. I mean, really, what is gonna stop him? The song forced out. Can't even TP out. I mean, it's on cooldown right now. Hold on to the BKB though. It's an Ancient under threat. Without the Prophet, they don't really have a way. Yeah, CTY, he's back now. And with the Arcane Blink, he's going to be looking to go in and finish the job. Yule's up onto the Magnus. He doesn't even stand a chance. Where's your RP? Where's your offlaner? Nowhere to be found. You buy back on the AA, but what else do you have to offer? Vinci's just being gunned down by the Muerta. And Blessing, there's nothing left to count for him. He'll slice down on the Jakiro, but he doesn't even die. Can't even kill a position 5. And just like that, Team Trust, they'll be sent swiftly to the lower bracket in style. Team Zero, not giving them a single chance. In this best of 3, they'll take it 2-0 in clean fashion.
You know, game 2 was looking a little bit better for Team Trust. There were signs of hope, but I mean, Team Zero just